Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
After listening to today's news, you'll know first, XAI's $20 billion funding round with Nvidia and Cisco pioneers a new vendor investor model reshaping the AI arms race. We'll analyze why this vendor investor feedback loop is a turning point and how it could affect competitive dynamics in the AI hardware market. Second, Nvidia's Alpamayo self-driving system introduces chain of thought reasoning, a breakthrough aimed at disrupting Tesla and Waymo. Today, we'll take a closer look at this explainable AI breakthrough and its implications for autonomous vehicle safety and regulatory approval. Third, PC giant Lenovo disrupts AI platform lock-in with its model-agnostic Qira assistant refusing to pick a single AI winner. In this episode, we'll break down this strategic hedge against vendor lock-in and what it signals for the on-device AI ecosystem. Fourth, Wi-Fi 8 hardware arrives years ahead of its 2028 standard, shifting focus from speed to stability in a risky pre-release market. We'll explore how this accelerated cycle could transform product roadmaps and what it means for consumers buying into draft-spec technology. Fifth, a $120,000 power-generating RV debuts to solve EV towing range anxiety using a hybrid system to bypass public charging failures. So we'll discuss why this high-cost solution matters and what it means for the future of EV adoption and charging infrastructure. Let's start with a single statistic that might just change your entire perspective on this company. $20 billion. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence venture, XAI, has successfully raised a massive $20 billion funding round, blowing past its initial $15 billion target. This comes after Musk himself publicly called an earlier report about a smaller fundraising effort false on his social network, X. And the list of investors includes tech heavyweights, Nvidia and Cisco. These aren't just backers. The report notes they are also strategic partners and vendors, blurring the lines between customer and owner in this high-stakes AI race. A while back, we broke down how SoftBank dumped its entire Nvidia stake to double down on OpenAI, the pick a miner, not the shovels pivot. The latest twist flips that logic. Here, Nvidia isn't just selling shovels, it's buying into the mine to become the preferred supplier. So the thing is, this represents a new kind of strategy we're seeing in the AI boom. It's called a vendor-investor feedback loop. By investing in XAI, Nvidia and Cisco aren't just placing a bet, they're securing a major customer. This helps lock XAI into their hardware and software ecosystem, giving them a huge advantage over competitors like AMD or Intel. It's a brilliant, if potentially anti-competitive, way to guarantee demand. We previously analyzed how OpenAI has been de-risking vendor lock-in by spreading workloads to multiple infrastructure partners, even as it pursues its Stargate ambitions. The latest development here is almost the mirror image. XAI appears to be tightening into a vertically aligned orbit with its vendors, trading flexibility for speed. Longtime Musk backers like Fidelity and the Qatar Investment Authority are also in on the deal. Actually, the involvement of a group like the Qatar Investment Authority is more than just a simple investment. This is a form of what experts are calling AI diplomacy. For these sovereign wealth funds, it's not just about financial returns. It's a strategic move to secure access to foundational American AI technology and talent. While Europe tries to build its own sovereign AI from scratch, some nations are choosing to invest directly into the heart of Silicon Valley to ensure they have a seat at the table. A few days ago, we mentioned capital as a moat, shaping this era from SoftBank's massive bet on OpenAI to its push into owning infrastructure. Today, the focus shifts to state capital, using investments as influence to stay close to the frontier. This massive capital injection puts XAI right in the middle of an industry-wide funding frenzy. For context, rival OpenAI recently closed a share sale at a staggering $5 to $100 billion valuation, and Anthropic was valued at around $350 billion. Continuing our last discussion, OpenAI's plan to spend over $1.4 trillion on infrastructure, plus that $500 billion Stargate Supercomputer initiative, set the upper bound for how capital as a moat works. The latest development is that XAI's $20 billion is the newest salvo aiming to play in that same league. Now, what really sets XAI apart is its deep integration with the social media platform X. This gives its AI models, like Grok, direct access to the real-time conversational data fire hose of millions of users. This allows it to learn and respond to current events and cultural trends faster than rivals who don't have that kind of live data stream. But that's not the whole picture. While celebrating this financial victory, the company is facing a flurry of regulatory probes across Europe, India, and Malaysia after its Grok chatbot reportedly generated problematic images. At the same time, its data center build-out in Memphis has drawn consternation from local residents over environmental concerns. We recently focused on how some players are trying to own more of the stack, like the push to acquire data center operators, because control over infrastructure is the new choke point. Today, the focus shifts to the trade-offs that come with that control, the power you choose, and the scrutiny that follows. xAI's choice of power source is at the heart of the controversy. While competitors like Microsoft and Google are investing heavily in renewable energy and even exploring small modular nuclear reactors, xAI's Memphis data center is being powered by dozens of natural gas turbines. This is a pragmatic choice for fast, reliable power, but it signals that in the AI arms race, some companies may be forced to deprioritize sustainability goals, leading to environmental and legal challenges. And yet, despite the controversies, xAI has just landed a deal that demonstrates its growing influence. The company secured a contract with the Department of Defense, which recently added Grok to its official AI agents platform. This highlights a massive paradox. How can the Department of Defense adopt an AI that is simultaneously under investigation for generating harmful content? This points to the tension between the military's urgent need for cutting-edge technology and the ethical risks of partnering with controversial providers. This is significant because government reports have shown the Pentagon lacks comprehensive department-wide guidance for acquiring AI, raising the question of whether they are prioritizing speed over safety. Speaking of tech heavyweights making big moves, Nvidia, which we just mentioned as a key investor in xAI, is now making waves in a completely different arena. Autonomous driving. It's racing against Tesla and Waymo to build cars that can fully drive themselves, and it may now have the edge. According to one reporter who took the new system for a test drive, Tesla should be concerned. A while back, we talked about that Miami jury ordering Tesla to pay $243 million over autopilot and driver attentiveness, a reminder that in this space, marketing claims and real-world safeguards now carry legal weight. Against that backdrop, Nvidia's timing here is striking. The new technology is called Alpamayo, a portfolio of AI models and data that can give vehicles level 4 autonomy, allowing them to operate without human assistance under specific conditions. So, what's actually going on under the hood? We previously broke down Tesla's pure vision approach and Waymo's heavy use of LiDAR plus massive simulation. Nvidia's Alpamayo is doing something new. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said, "The system doesn't just activate the steering wheel and brakes, it also reasons about what action it is about to take." This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. The system uses what's called a chain of thought model. It processes video and generates not just the driving action, but also a written explanation for why it's making that choice. This is a huge step toward transparency, solving the black box problem where nobody knows why an AI made a certain decision. The first car to feature this technology, the new Mercedes-Benz CLA, is set to bring these AI-assisted driving features to the US this year. And as we noted recently, Mercedes already has approvals for a hands-off system in Germany and even in Nevada and California, which helps it navigate the US patchwork rules faster than Tesla, making it a logical first adopter. Meanwhile, Waymo still dominates the US robotaxi space, underscoring how Nvidia is entering an arena with clear incumbents. That added layer of explainability could also matter in a climate where courts are scrutinizing how companies communicate capabilities to drivers. But the battle for dominance doesn't stop on the asphalt. Nvidia also just unveiled its next generation successor to its most powerful AI chips. It's called the Vera Rubin platform, and one of the company's senior directors described it as 6 chips that make one AI supercomputer, designed to train massive AI models with far greater efficiency than its predecessors. Believe it or not, this all comes down to one thing: efficiency. It's now the most critical battleground in AI. The energy consumption of AI data centers is projected to more than double by 2030, creating a massive cost and environmental problem. Nvidia's strategy with Rubin isn't just about being faster, it's about delivering more performance per watt. This is a direct shot at rivals like AMD and Intel, and even cloud giants like Amazon and Google, by offering a full stack, vertically integrated system CPU, GPU, networking, everything that works together perfectly to lower that total cost of ownership. If that was just the appetizer, The main course is just being served for PC gamers. The new DLSS 4.5 update, available for all RTX GPUs, will provide a staggering 6 times multi-frame generation mode for its latest cards. This technology generates up to 5 additional frames for every single frame rendered by the hardware, delivering a massive boost in performance. Here's where it gets interesting. While the base updates for DLSS 4.5 will work on all RTX cards, that incredible 6 times performance mode is exclusive to the brand new 50 series cards. This is a strategic move. Nvidia is using a must-have software feature to create a powerful incentive for gamers to upgrade their hardware, a new form of planned obsolescence driven entirely by software. It's a stark contrast to AMD's FSR technology, which is open source and designed to work on a much wider range of hardware, including Nvidia's. From challenging tech giants on the road, to cementing its lead in the AI arms race, to delivering jaw-dropping performance gains to consumers, Nvidia just put every corner of the tech world on notice. We were just talking about Nvidia's strategy of vertical integration, controlling everything from the chip to the software. Now, let's shift our focus to a company taking the exact opposite approach, the world's #1 PC maker, Lenovo. While AI giants are battling to become the exclusive intelligence layer for every device, Lenovo just made a move that turns that entire strategy on its head. They've unveiled Qira, a new AI assistant designed to live across their laptops and Motorola phones. A while back, we talked about how vendor lock-in was creeping in through big public-private AI tee-ups and how the builders of systems often end up as the sellers too. Lenovo's move reads like the device-side counterplay to exactly that dynamic. This decision brings both significant benefits and comes with inherent risks. For Lenovo, the big AI labs wanting to be the one and only brain inside every computer is a threat, so they're saying no thanks and playing the long game. Lenovo's head of AI product, Jeff Snow, went on the record stating, "We didn't want to hard code ourselves to one model. This space is moving too fast." However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play. Lenovo is positioning itself as the Switzerland of AI. By refusing to sign an exclusive deal, they avoid being locked into a single provider's technology, pricing, and strategic whims. This is what's known as a model-agnostic approach, and it's a massive strategic hedge for a hardware company against the platform power of the AI model builders. We previously analysed the risk of vendor lock-in in government AI programs. This is the consumer hardware version of the same playbook, except Lenovo is opting out. Instead of picking one winner, Lenovo is building a modular system. Under the hood, Qira mixes and matches technology from Microsoft, OpenAI, and Stability AI, plus others. What's remarkable is that getting all these different AI models with their own unique architectures to work together seamlessly on one device is an enormous technical challenge. It requires a centralized system to manage data and standardized interfaces so the different AIs can actually talk to each other. This runs directly counter to the push from major AI labs, who would love to lock in an exclusive deal with a company that ships tens of millions of devices every single year. Lenovo's stance is that optionality matters more, especially when you control one of the largest consumer distribution channels in the world. And this isn't a blind gamble. The company admits its previous efforts with Moto AI saw high initial trials, but poor retention. Interestingly enough, Lenovo is drawing a clear line in the sand. Qira is designed to be an AI agent, not just a chatbot. A chatbot answers questions. An agent can act on your behalf, performing tasks across different apps. This is a much bigger, more complex goal, but it's what could make the AI truly useful and keep users coming back. They also paid close attention to the backlash around Microsoft's recall feature, designing Qira from the ground up with opt-in controls and visible indicators. Nothing is silently collected. This focus is critical because to build a true agent, security is everything. Experts say you have to treat each AI agent like its own identity with the absolute minimum permissions needed to do its job, which is exactly the weakness that Microsoft's recall was criticized for. So what's the real endgame here? In the short term, it's about getting customers to stay within the Lenovo and Motorola ecosystem. After all, the long-term play is a high-stakes bet to hedge against its hardware becoming a commodity. On-device AI requires more powerful and expensive components like special neural processing units or NPUs and a lot more RAM. And analysts are already forecasting that memory prices could skyrocket by 15 to 20% this year alone, driven by the huge demand for AI. Continuing our last discussion about the US, holding the brain's advanced AI chips and using export controls as an Achilles heel for China's ambitions, Chinese firms are sprinting to design their own accelerators to close the gap. Companies like Huawei and Baidu are building domestic AI hardware, and that race, along with those toll road policies we mentioned that let Western chips keep flowing while China goes homegrown, could swing component availability and pricing even more, nudging OEMs between on-e device and cloud trade-offs. And on top of all this, you have the geopolitical angle. Lenovo is a leading Chinese tech company, but it's building its global AI assistant using American partners like Microsoft and OpenAI. This East-West integration is a fascinating strategy to navigate the intense tech tensions between the US and China, allowing Lenovo to compete globally while likely pursuing a separate plan for its domestic Chinese market with local AI partners. We previously said China is rapidly building the robot bodies while the US controls the brains, and with Chinese robotics production scaling and local proprietary models emerging, the incentive to pair domestic hardware with domestic intelligence is only growing. Beijing's caution about boom and bust cycles in these sectors is a reminder that Lenovo's modular model-agnostic bet isn't just technical, it's a hedge against geopolitical and market whiplash too. That push for more powerful on-device AI brings us to our next story, which is all about the hardware that connects everything. And in a move that's caught everyone by surprise, Wi-Fi 8 is already here. The first Wi-Fi 8 routers and chips just made a surprise appearance at CES, with some companies saying they'll launch this year. This is happening just a couple of years after Wi-Fi 7 debuted, a technology most of us don't even have yet. To put this in perspective, the adoption rate for Wi-Fi 7 in the US is currently less than 2%. That's right, less than 2%. So the fact that we're already talking about the next generation highlights an incredibly accelerated cycle that can leave consumers feeling confused. But this time, the narrative isn't about more speed. Wi-Fi 8 is designed for something else entirely. Stability, it promises the high speeds of Wi-Fi 7, but with higher throughput and better power efficiency. The goal is to finally kill the dropping out and freezing that plague, streaming and gaming, creating rock-solid connections even when you're moving around. You know, this marks a fundamental shift in how we think about wireless. We're entering what some experts call the post-speed era of Wi-Fi. The new priority is driven by the demands of future technologies like untethered, augmented, and virtual reality, real-time robotics, and homes packed with dozens of smart devices. These applications don't just need speed, they need incredibly low latency and near-perfect reliability. What Wi-Fi 8 is aiming for is what's called wired-grade performance, but without the wires. We're talking about a potential twofold increase in throughput at mid-range distances and a massive reduction in connection lag. And this isn't just one company testing the waters. Tech giants are going all in. Asus revealed its new ROG Neo-Core concept router. Broadcom announced a new lineup of Wi-Fi 8 gear. And MediaTek unveiled its Filogic 8000 family of chips set to power everything from smartphones to TVs later this year. And speaking of just how early these concepts are, there's a telling anecdote from the show floor. A reporter for Times, The Verge Times, handled the new Asus concept router, and the plastic mock-up reportedly broke in his hands. An editor at the publication simply responded, "Perfect. This is actually more interesting than it sounds." That sleek, antennaless design of the Asus router is part of a bigger trend. For years, we had those spider routers with antennas sticking out everywhere. The engineering reason was that external antennas are more efficient, but now, as routers become a visible centerpiece of the smart home, there's a push for sculptural designs. The trade-off is that internal antennas are slightly less efficient, but technology has advanced so much that the performance gap is closing, and they provide a more uniform spherical coverage pattern, which is great for multi-story homes. This all points to the underlying strategy at play. Despite brands going full steam ahead, the official Wi-Fi 8 standard, the IEEE 802.1 1BN specification, has not been finalised. The current timeline predicts the standard won't be ratified until late 2028. By launching hardware based on a draft version of the rules, these companies are trying to get a head start, establish themselves as market leaders, and even influence what the final standard will look like. But this is a huge risk for you, the consumer. We saw this with Wi-Fi 6, where some early adopter devices were sold without key features that were later included in the final standard. buying a draft device means you might end up with hardware that's not fully compatible or secure down the line. This is a high stakes gamble. Major tech players are racing to ship hardware based on a draft version of the specification, betting that they can define the next generation of wireless on a standard that is still years away from being finished. While some companies are racing towards a future that's still years away, our final story is about a company tackling a very present-day problem, the Achilles heel of electric trucks. The number one complaint is that towing destroys your range. Just to give you a sense of the problem, towing can easily cut an electric truck's range in half, sometimes even more. Real-world tests have shown a popular truck, like the Ford F-150 Lightning, with an estimated 300-mile range, getting just 90 miles while towing a 7,000-pound camper. That's a massive drop. That creates huge anxiety on the road. But what if the very thing you're towing could pump that power right back into your truck? California company Evertrex has unveiled the Evertrex PG5, and it's being billed as the world's first power-generating RV. The secret is a unified energy system that is an absolute powerhouse. Now, get this. Most RV power setups are piecemeal. Owners have to buy and install separate batteries, inverters, solar controllers, and generators and hope they all work together. This Evertrex system is different. It's an all-in-one integrated platform where every component is designed to work in harmony, managed by smart software. It combines a massive 43 kilowatt hour battery, solar panels, and an ultra-efficient gas-powered generator. I know what you're thinking. A gas generator for an electric truck? The situation presents a fascinating duality. On one side, you have the EV, which converts about 77% of its electricity to power at the wheels. But on the other, you're pairing it with a gas generator that's only about 20% to 40% efficient. So you're burning fossil fuels and losing a lot of energy as heat just to create electricity for your hyper-efficient truck. It's a pragmatic solution to a real problem, but it definitely complicates the green credentials. The jaw-dropping number? Evertrex says these sources working together can deliver more than 270 kilowatt hours of usable energy on a single cycle. This isn't just for running a coffee maker. This is about tackling the core conflict of EV towing head-on. When you're done driving for the day, you simply plug your electric truck directly into the RV. We're not talking about a slow trickle charge either. The system can push out DC charging speeds of up to 60 kW, giving you significant range back. For perspective, that's not as fast as a high-end public DC fast charger, which can hit 150 kW or even 350 kW, but it's an absolute game changer for an overnight charge at a remote campsite, potentially adding hundreds of miles of range while you sleep, and its capabilities extend even further. The PG5 isn't just a camper, it's a mobile power station. It supports vehicle-to-load power export, meaning you can run tools and campsite equipment directly from it. In a blackout, it can even power your actual home. What's fascinating is that a mobile power plant like this operates in a bit of a regulatory grey area. For instance, many national parks have strict rules limiting generator noise to 60 decibels at 50 feet to preserve the natural quiet. It raises real questions about where and how you can use a powerful machine like this without running into trouble. But a solution this revolutionary comes with a staggering price tag. The base model of the PG5 starts at $119,900. The fully loaded version climbs to nearly $160,000. So the real takeaway here is that a product this expensive isn't just for anyone. It's aimed at a very specific, wealthy buyer, and its very existence sends a powerful signal about the state of public charging. It suggests that our current infrastructure is failing to meet the needs of EV truck owners, especially when they tow. When studies show that 14% of EV owners still report unsuccessful charging attempts at public stations, a private, self-contained solution, even a costly one, starts to look a lot more appealing. While electric truck sales have been hitting a wall over towing anxiety, Evertrex is making a bold statement. It's betting that a high-tech, high-cost trailer isn't just a niche accessory, but a critical piece of hardware to unlock the future of electric adventure. And it's not the only idea out there. Other companies are exploring trailers with their own electric motors that actually help push the trailer along, reducing the burden on the truck in the first place. The race is on to solve this problem, and the solutions are getting more and more creative.
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.